Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joni Young and I'm going to show you all step by step how to paint this acrylic painting today. So I'm working on a 9x12 stretched and primed canvas, pre-painted black. You can purchase a black canvas, you can use black gesso, or you can do what I did, just take a little bit of black paint and cover up a white canvas. So I'm going to be showing you the colors now that we're going to be using. I've got neon red, neon yellow warm and cool, turquoise blue, cobalt blue, neon rose, and titanium white. You don't have to have neon colors to paint along with me. You can use regular colors as well. I'm going to be using my 1-inch mop brush and I'm going to get it a little bit wet. What I want to do is create like a kind of a hazy blue background. So I'm going to be taking my cobalt blue, and it's not going to show up yet because black is darker than blue, but I will be bringing it to life with a little bit of white. So I'm just going to kind of in a circular motion here. Twirl it around. All right, then a little bit of white without washing my brush off. And I'll start to add that in to the blue. And this will give us some softer shades. I'm going to take another brush. This is another mop brush, and just to make sure this dries to the color I want it to, which is, I really like this color in this shade, so I'm just going to go over with a little bit more of my blue and my white. And this brush is a little bit softer than that other one. And the other one was just a little bit too saturated as well, so I couldn't continue using it for this next step. And just with a little bit of water on my brush, I'm going to catch the bottom of the canvas, pull and sweep out towards the right. So just a few little lines like that will make it look like there's a ground here, a road or a path or whatever. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take a toothbrush that I like to use for creating stars and a spray effect. What you want to do is get it wet. I just dunk it in the water, and I'm going to catch the rest of that blue. It's very close to my turquoise. Spread those two colors together. And I'm going to hold it, place my thumb over the top, my finger here, and then I'll pull and spray. So make sure I want it to be the brightest in this area, but I also want to have just a little flicker of stars there. So I'm going to start to spray. Even just a little bit like that is quite nice. Okay, and I think I'll leave just like that. I'm going to dry this off completely. Okay, now that we have a dry canvas, we can come in with our rainbow. I'm going to be using a number 10 flat brush. You can also use a filbert brush, that would be nice as well. But you can use this easily to get a curve too if you just pull and drag using the corner. But I can also make more even lines within my rainbow for the layers of color, we're using a flat brush with a straight end like this. I'm going to just take a little bit of water, and I'm going to start with my neon red, a little bit of white. The white will allow the color to really show up and not dry too dark. So I'm going to take a little bit more water, and I'm going to start somewhere in right about here. Right off the canvas. I have it start to fade over on this side. The next color I'm going to use is my yellow, the warm golden yellow. Okay, a little bit of water again. And I'm going to kind of cut this red in half and layer over. Now that's the key to making your rainbows look magical, is the layering effect. And then I'll go back over to my red and very lightly bring that up a little bit higher. So it's easy, really easy to correct if you happen to lose your shape a little bit along the way. And by taking a little bit of red and going over part of that yellow works really well too. Okay, the next color I'm going to use is my lemon yellow, cool yellow. And I'm going to partially go over that golden yellow. I'm going to make this yellow wider because I'm going to create turquoise over it. So I'll make my turquoise by taking a little bit of blue turquoise. And I'll make a really pretty shade of green in here. And then I'll go right into my blue, the cobalt blue. Now you can use a little bit of turquoise in there as well. And I'm going to get really close and partially over that turquoise. Bring that down a little bit lower, this area here. And then take my rose, a little bit of white. You can use pink and blue to make something similar, any kind of purple you want. Gonna lighten it up just a little bit here. Get a good amount on the tip of my brush. I'm just going to add a little bit of these colors down below and partially in this area. Just wiggling around with my brush like this, twisting and moving around. And then blending over the blue background. I'm going to gently take off some of this, pushing this rainbow up a little bit higher. And add a few more colors. I'll come in with my neon red. And add a little bit of this here. You can use a liner brush for this step as well. Just making these squiggly, wiggly lines and shapes. And then a little bit down here on the bottom. A little wiggle and blending. I'm going to bring some up here and I'm going to go into my violet or rose. It's very similar to the neon rose or the neon purple violet that I used from Holbein. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of that red, yellow down below. A little bit more lemon yellow. Just kind of pulls and wiggles down here. And I get all those colors of the rainbow down below sort of reflecting, so making that turquoise again with a blue turquoise and lemon yellow. Then my cobalt blue. And the rose with some white. Okay, just to soften the outside edges of my rainbow, I'm going to just have a very thin amount of blue and white on my brush, like pretty dry brush. I'm going to add a few more stars using the toothbrush again. I'm going to bring my red up. See how it slopes down here? Just bring that up a little bit higher. And then the yellow. A little bit of the lemon yellow now. And I'm going to add a lamppost right about here. And I'm going to paint my lamppost dark turquoisey color. So I'm going to pull it down right here. and then make it wider on the bottom. Add a little line right there. And then one on the top. It goes up into a point, like a little rounded triangle. I'm going to take a little bit of white and bring that through. A line here on either side. It goes out on an angle a little bit and meets the bottom of your triangle top. And then I'm going to add a little line that goes across like this. Just for a design, just to add a little bit more character. And a little bit of white. Little white accents. Bits of highlights and light reflecting. I'm going to take a round brush now. I've got number 1. I'll take a little bit of white in both of my yellows. I'll go ahead and add that inside my lamppost. A little bit of red to make it a little bit more warmer looking around the edges, and then a little bit of white in the center. I'm going to take my cobalt blue and my rose, twist and roll to get a little bit of paint on the end of my brush, and go right under. It's a pretty color layered over that blue turquoise and the red. I'll add a few lines. And a little bit below here for some shadows. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of white, a little bit of what's left of my red, which looks pretty pinky, and even a little bit of that warm yellow. Twist and roll and pull my brush around. go in front of the rainbow, like over the rainbow. And then with a small filbert brush, this one's a number 8, I'm going to soften. My paint is drying quite quickly, so I'm going to add some more. So we're just adding some neat sort of galaxy looking clouds over here, just to help to create a little bit more depth. So just a little dry brush like this with any tinted white of your choice. So you can choose any pastel color you want, or make any pastel color you want, I should say. Make it look a little bit misty down here. Oh, even use a little bit of turquoise in here with my warm yellow and a bit of white. See how dry my brush is? That's how you can create that misty effect. And go right over that lamppost with it. I'm going to add a little bit of color to the mist here. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this rose, and I can just go over a little bit of water will help. And with a little bit of black and my rose in there, just sort of tint that. I have some people walking in the distance. So wider at the top. Think of like a triangle, a narrow one, and then a little shadow down at the bottom, little wiggles. And we'll have the next one a little bit shorter. I'll just add one more. And I'm just going to go over a little bit of these clouds here. And again, that's just with a little bit of that rose black. And then a little bit of blue. I'll add a little bit of white in there. Okay, well, I'm going to call this painting all done. This was really, really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and want to paint along. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, everybody.